So, welcome back to the first episode of the art show in like 2 years, something like that. And the last time we were here, we were talking about gesture drawing. And I feel that those videos need a little bit of a recap because, you know, it's been a while. I have some new insights and things like that. So hopefully this leads to a more consistent upload schedule. And yeah, let's jump right into it, guys. Oh god, those last 2 fucking episodes were so bad. So the main thing that I focused on in these 1-minute gestures is not detail. It's not what's a good word? It's not detail. It's not anatomic accuracy. It's really just the essence of the pose and getting the flow down. So one of the main things is line of action. That's probably the main thing that I focus on when I'm doing gestures. And for this particular pose, the line of action goes from the top of that elbow all the way down to her back foot. It flows in an S. And I really wanted to focus on that. A lot of people have a misconception that the line of action is always on the spine every time. No, that's not true at all. It depends on what part of the body is creating the most action at that time. It can be your head, it can be even a foot, it can even be like a tip of your finger to the bottom of your toes. You know what I mean? That really is exemplified in this next pose where I started off with the arm. The arms, both arms were the main focus of the action to me because they're holding their guard up like this. I made it a little more like a fighting pose. She's just kind of lazily holding them up, because who the fuck stands like this? I don't know. But yeah, she's just kind of lazily holding up her arms, but I wanted to make it a little more like on guard and like she was angry. So I was doing that. That's the main focus of the action, so I did those first. Still put a flow in the body just to, because the body is flowing like that, but I really wanted to focus on the main action first. And once again, anatomical accuracy is not the main focus here. It's just getting the expression and the pose across. If these were longer poses, 2-minute poses, 5-minute poses, up to whatever 30-minute poses or however long you want, that really is what depends on how much detail you can add to it. So just these 1-minute poses down to like 30-second poses, you're not going to be able to add that much detail. Another thing that I've been doing lately in my gesture technique is I've been adding tone to the outside of the figures because I really feel that it adds a little bit of a punch to the silhouettes, because silhouette is a very important thing. In gesture drawing, you want to be able to see a silhouette and read it. Even if you blacked out the entire figure completely, you should be able to read the silhouette, at least to a certain degree. There are some poses, like if someone was like this, you know, or like, you know, something like this, you can't really read that from, no matter how you pose them, you can't read it perfectly. But, you know, for most poses, you can fudge them to the point of being able to read them if they were completely blacked out. And this is a really good pose for that, because even in the example, you can see like this is a clear silhouette. You can tell what she's doing. You can tell that she's like leaning against something. I didn't draw the table in this one, but you can definitely tell that like her hands are resting on something. And but I still like to add that little bit of tone in the back because it just adds a little bit of a visual punch, I feel. Adds a little bit of a traditional element in a way. For this next pose coming up, this is the girl by the railroad tracks. She is waiting for the train to, you know, so she's waiting for the train so she can meet her ultimate doom. She's extraordinarily afraid, but she is taking it like a champ. Good on you. What the fuck am I talking about? But anyway, yeah, this pose is really fun to do. Like, once again, I started with the arms. That's what I felt the main action was going into, and they flow in one line into that leg, which is the secondary source of action to me in this pose. And the thing is, when you're doing gesture drawing, 2 poses rarely turn out the same. Like, if I go back and do all these same poses again, I'll probably start from a different point on each one, because you find different aspects about the poses, and you find different levels of interest every time you look at the image. Like, I could have just as easily started off with the leg instead of the arms and gotten a pose that looked similar but with a completely different source of energy. For this one, it kind of threw me off because I didn't realize that I had any portraits in the in the library that I was using. By the way, I'm using the Quick Poses app. If you guys haven't gone to quickposes.com, it's a wonderful resource for artists. It's a gesture drawing site, and they recently released an app. So if you want to check them out, go up here or something, or down there, or I'll put it somewhere. It'll be obvious. So with this one, I just kind of did my best. I had my hard brush, so I wasn't really prepared to do like a detailed face in a minute, but I just handled it in the way I normally would if I was doing minute faces in a typical gesture scenario. But I would normally have a brush that had opacity for that situation, because, you know, you want to fill in like roughs for the nose shape and everything. But I just put in the blatant nose shape, which is kind of like an isosceles triangle, the glasses shape, the eyes, and I just laid in things as simply and as quickly as I could and just moved on to the next one. I didn't have time to add any tone in the back, but I did get the hair, thankfully. And with this last pose, I did start out with just the body. This is a case where the spine or torso, whatever, you know, you can't really have that without the spine anyway, was the main source of action to me, especially because the arms into the shoulders kind of form a triangular shape as a whole if you simplified it down. And that really helps the silhouette. The hair adds a really nice element too. I really, really like the hair. And yeah, it just came out in a way that was visually dynamic because her body is forming a triangle. It almost, like if you stared at this, it almost makes your eye go upward because of the way the arms and hands and torso are all pointing. And the hair helps too. The hair is like a pretty blatant triangle as well. So I guess the focal point of this image is the hat. You know, if this were simplified shapes, I guess the top of it is where you'd look because that's like the tip of the arrow, right? But yes, those were all of the poses. Just a quick 5 minutes, but I feel the 5 examples is a pretty good amount to show what my quick gesture technique has been for a while now. And except for that tone, I recently started doing that tone in the background, and I've been enjoying that. Something that really helped me a lot was gesture drawing with Alex Wu from schoolism.com. I'll put a link to that below or somewhere as well. So it's somewhere. It'll be somewhere. And with that, I guess that's really all for gesture. If you guys have any questions, feel the freedom to post a comment in the section below, and you know, tell me how much this video sucked, I guess, and call me an idiot on YouTube, which is fine. That's okay. It's all right. And if you want any more tutorials or any more tips for anything, more in-depth videos on gesture drawing, or anything else, just post it in the comments. And yeah, oh god, is this that part with like the end of the video where I have to like tell you like hey guys, go like my patronage, and go click subscribe on all of my social medias, and go to twitch.com.tv/PeacekyBobby for the weekly streams that I do. Hoorah! Intro or outro over. Later.